as you add licenses or applications, they'll show up in whatever category it is. The same with HVAC. There's a few things in here. I haven't done much HVAC on my E3.
So Ryan,
Energy.
does the CC200s, are those a license you have to buy, or does that already come pre-loaded in the E2?
The newer versions, they're built into it. But yeah, in my case, the couple E3s that I have added the BACnet IP license to it, and yeah, it's to me, it's from in my experience, it was at no charge. But yeah, it's in this case was the BACnet IP. We have BACnet MSTP without just throwing off too many letters. MSTP being Master Slave Token Pass, and BACnet IP is it's Ethernet based. So from a data point of view, it's Ethernet based it's going to move a lot more data. I'm personally quite excited that the E3 and the CC200's BACnet IP. Yeah, enhanced suction. I don't know. It's T plus 20. Call it assuming whatever the OEM would come up with for the design of this group. I'll just call it medium temp plus 20 degrees SST. Type of application we're going to use enhanced. Associations, we don't have anything associated with it. We'll get to it later. I'm going to hit the checkbox. Now the application's made. You can either jump right into it, or if we hit the home button to kind of just get an idea, I'll get rid of this rack thing for now. We'll get back to that. If you go back to the home page, you kind of, now we have this refrigeration category, excuse me, which we didn't have before. And the system category, we can see that we actually have some input boards, input and output boards. Depending on how large your system is, you have an ability to create some organization to it. These are some old ones. Let me just clear these up real fast. So it's imagine you have like your refrigeration category, and you can have kind of subcategories, and depending on what you want to do.
Can you make custom subcategories?
Yep. Yeah. It's. I'll show you. Let's see. So in this case, I want to add another one. Let's just, I don't know, go do 16. Yeah, I'm going to hit the plus on the far right of the screen. And I did that. I hit edit at the top right in order to get to the plus. I hit the plus, gives you a blank field. You can call it whatever you want. 16 AI boards. Okay. And I'm going to go to my tile. That's 16 AI number 1. You can just click and drag and drop. And you can do the same thing with the other categories. A little drop down arrow, you can hide it, view it, all that stuff. I'm just going to save it. And I'm going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to hit view. And you can see all the pluses and stuff are gone. Otherwise, let's go back to our input board. Let me just look at my trainer for a sec. Input 1 I have as a pressure transducer. So on the screen, I just got into the 16 AI. Just to set up the inputs. So I'm going to select AI input number 1. By default, the value of it's going to be unconfigured because it's a new input, new board. E3 doesn't know what to do with it yet. I hit edit at the top right. And it gives you a drop-down menu of what kind of input you want it to be. Do you want it to be analog, temperature, pressure transducer, whatever, digital, being compressor proof, door switch, whatever. If for whatever reason, if you don't know which one to select, we have a lot of little help tips everywhere now. Just kind of give you enough ideas. Some help tips are more useful than others. Yeah, in this case, I'll do, let's assume 200 PSI is what my pressure transducer scale is going to be. We're assuming like I don't know, if a 448 rack, 200-pound pressure transducer. Naming convention, the way how The US might do it a little differently, but in Canada, we always, when we name the point, we always put the board and point in it as well. So let's say MT suction pressure.
Wow. More letters. It's so much nicer. Oh, wow.
There you go, 63.
Holy shit.
It's a lot better than what was the old one, 11.
It's so frustrating trying to you get halfway through and you're like, damn, I have to abbreviate this to something stupid.
Exactly, especially when you get into circuit naming, right? It's
So
yeah,
please tell me we still have the linear option on this, right?
oh yeah, it's you have all kinds of stuff you can do
Okay.
on it. Yeah, there's your linear right there.
Good.
And then yeah, you can get into kind of tweaking the input depending on what it is. In this case, our example, I'll just kind of keep it as 5 volts, 200 psi. I'm just gonna hit save on that. I'm gonna, I don't know, next pressure transducer. I'm just gonna go through this one just a little quicker. Same kind of process. Having all the extra characters are quite handy. Not have, like, if you would just call it discharge pressure and not having, like in this case, I'm putting 01.02 before the name. I'm just referring to board 1.2. Whenever you link stuff later, it just makes it way easier if you know exactly what board and point it is. Even if, like, let's say if you have to delete an application that is taking an input from whatever board and point it is, you can't delete the application if it's taking an input. You have to disassociate the input to the application. So yeah, in this case, 500 psi. We're assuming this is just discharge pressure. Hit save. You can start with this. So I'm going to go hit the home. Go back to my tile screen. I got my suction group here.
Do you have to configure the input first before you link it to the application, or can you do the same thing as what you used to be able to in the E2, where you can basically name it and then it'll take on the characteristics of what it's programmed for, right?
Yeah, exactly. You
Okay.
can take. I'll do it after with like a circuit or something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
you can either pre-configure the inputs, or you can create your application. Then if you do the association to a board and point that hasn't been configured yet, as you select that point, it's going to pop up analog, digital, the same thing we went through before. We just kind of, like, we, regarding being my Canadian team, we do all the input and output kind of configuration first.
Oh, okay.
Because it's I don't know, it's my 2 cents. It's the most tedious part. Doing the actual logic of it is the more enjoyable part.
Yeah, see, that's that I'm in agreement with you. I don't think I would find that really enjoyable, like going through every single input and output, or analog output, whatever, and then configuring it and then associating it.
Yeah, because it's like on big racks, like, poof.
Yeah.
it's
whole grocery stores. Yes.
It's a task.
Yeah.
It's, at least from a circuit point of view. Let's say if you have, I don't know, let's say 20 dairy cases, region dairy, and if they're all configured the same, create one once and copy paste it, duplicate it. So you can speed it up pretty quick. But yeah, let's jump into, in this case, my enhanced suction group. Don't tell me my modem just died. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's, so if you're directly connected to the E3, it'll be instant. In this case, my E3 is connected to a cellular modem, and then I'm just connected to a static IP that's on the modem.
I thought you were going to say your kids are playing Fortnite.
Oh, I hate Fortnite. Minecraft's more like it.
I have to shut off the router every time we do a podcast. Like, I have to lock the router.
There you go.
Get off of roadblocks right now.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, it's open up the enhanced suction application, this is kind of what you get out of the box. Just has a random set point, being that's you want to configure your suction set point to match 20 degrees, whatever refrigerant that it actually is. Just kind of going through, I guess, from left to right. The window on the left is kind of a quick summary, and the summary can be configured based on the user. So being like I'm logged in as a user, generic, kind of boring name. If you have it kind of individual based, you can choose what you want your, I guess, shortcut tiles to look like. Like, let's say for whatever reason, I don't care to know if the rack fail is actually an alarm or not. I want to look at, I don't know, phase protect. If that's something that I truly want to see, you can kind of pick and choose, change the order, and kind of you can focus on kind of the shortcuts that matter the most to you, right?
That's nice.
It is, because it's depending on what the application is. You will see it in these values down here. So if you have those few key values you care about the most, the higher on that shortcut box they'll show up in the under the tile with that drop down arrow.
Now, is there still a way you could see like the expanded information on like the whole screen? Like say the E2, you can go through and see, everything that's going on in the suction group.
Yep, I'll get to that. Once we'll create a suction, we'll create a condenser, we'll throw a couple circuits, and then we'll go to like a summary screen. So you can kind of see everything that's going on instead of the tiles. Otherwise, moving on to a little more on the right of this shortcut tile, we have some default trends, which we don't really have any value. So the trends don't have anything to display. You can choose what point you want to add, how do you want to see it, being if it's tabular or the actual trends. If you do have a trend kind of that you're focusing on, do you want to download it, PDF file or CSV file? If your E3 is configured to an IP address or static IP and also email, you can email it to a user. When doing this, as you create your user profiles, you can enter your email address. So let's say the three of us have profiles on this and you each have an email associated with your user account. When I choose email, I can just tick off the box. I want to email Kevin, I want to email Brett. And then you guys get a copy of it. Same with print, if you have a printer on like a network or something like that.